So I just bought a water bottle for €1.60, which is around 150. This is not even 500 ml. So traveling is expensive, as you might see. So we have reached Florence. Florence is the capital of the Tuscany region in Italy, and it is famous for all the history and the art from the ancient periods. So if you can see around here, it always has the historic approach of the buildings and the constructions. So make sure to watch till the end of the videos to know how the Florence looks like. Let's go. So it was 7 in the morning, and as you can see, they were cleaning the roads and stuff because they were being ready for the tourists, because Florence is well known for its tourism. Every year there are thousands of people who are coming to Florence just to visit the city and the cathedral and the Ponte Vecchio and the squares, city center squares. Because of this, the Florence is generating its income. So to keep it as continuing as possible, so they have to maintain the standards. So you can see the Florence as clean as possible, because if you see in Naples, there will be someone smoking. There is a litter everywhere, not everywhere, but some of the places, some of the main places where the tourists try to come. So in these places there are cigarette butts everywhere and stuff though. So this doesn't look for a good for a tourist or someone. So as we are walking, we have reached the cathedral, which is where the main city center is. So every Italian city has a cathedral. So each cathedral has its own significance, because it was maintained by some particular family man or a bishop. So for example, the Milan cathedral is the fifth largest cathedral in the world. So in the same way, as you can see, this is the cathedral of Florence, and this looks amazing. So right now we are at the cathedral square, but we cannot enter inside because the opening time is around 10 o'clock. So we are going to Ponte Vecchio, which is the oldest bridge in the Florence, which was built in 13th century, and it was the place where the market used to go on. So let's go. So before we go to the Ponte Vecchio, on the way I've seen the place called Piazza del Repubblica, where this is the historical center of the Florence. So this is the place where the Romans were making shows, or it was a trading center for so many years. And Gilly was the cafe where it was very popular right now in this center. So let's try to have a coffee here or something, maybe eat something. So if you see the Gilly cafe, it feels so expensive. Maybe it's our luck, they are opening at 8 a.m. So it's better we skip this part and go back to Ponte Vecchio. Let's go. So as we are walking towards the Ponte Vecchio, I have seen one more square, which is Piazza del Signoria. So Piazza della Signoria in Florence is best known for its history and cultural significance. As we walk by, we can see four statues which resemble the David by Michelangelo, Hercules, and the Perseus with the head of Medusa. So these were the history of the Florence, because if you see these statues, if you know something history about the Florence, then you would understand what the pictures are, what the statues are. These were not the real one, but they were the replicas of the original one. But if you see behind of the statues, that was a huge building which is called as the Palazzo of the Signoria. Because of this, the square was named as the Piazza della Signoria, because the name itself came from the palace, because the palace used to be called, as I told you, it was the Palazzo della Signoria. So the square was also named in this way. So the statues were not real, but they were preserved somewhere in the museum. Maybe the museum that we go, it might have it. So make sure to watch it till the end. Do not miss it. Now we have reached Ponte Vecchio. Ponte Vecchio is the oldest bridge, which is basically translated as old bridge in Italy. In Italian. So when we look at the bridge, it was now serving as a gold shop for the tourists, but it was used to be a butcher shop where they used to cut the fish or the meat or whatever. They used to cut it and throw it in this river. So this is how the Ponte Vecchio was used. So now, due to the attraction, they changed it completely from butcher's place to a gold shop. So there were multiple shops. So if you want to buy something, you can go to the Ponte Vecchio, but they were expensive. But still, if you want to buy something from the Florence as a gold ornament or something, you can come here and try this. As we walk by the bridge, we can see the river where it is not clean, but still we can have an amazing view of the river and the sun and the beautiful buildings. If you observe carefully, the architecture around the river is still the oldest. It was not the newest one where the buildings were built with cement and all stuff. And even on the shops, if you can see, this was all looking really old. They were from ages or from years. So they were still preserving it to keep the history of this particular city to stay alive. So that's the main reason of keeping them the way they are. So come to Florence and enjoy it. So our next location is the Pitti Palace. This is where the ancient king was used to live. So it has also a museum and a huge garden. So let's explore and let's see what it has in it.
So this was
The entry ticket was 22 euros. So we have to buy it. There is no other chance. If it was the first Sunday of the month, then it would be free. But unfortunately, we were in the last week. I came in the last week of the March, so we cannot enter for free. So we have to buy the ticket. But if you say you're a student in Europe, then you might get a discount. But I forgot to say it, so we have to pay it. So I just paid 22 euros enter the palace and for the garden. So we entered the museum, and basically the museum is the palace. So they converted the palace rooms into a museum. So the palace was really huge because I was looking for the palace around 2.5 hours, and it was never ending. And it has two parts in the palace, which one shows the structures and the paintings of the ancient people, and the second one shows the ancient clothes and how the design has evolved during the years. So this way the museum was really enjoyable, and I was trying to show you as much as possible because it was really huge. I was saying it. They have a demonstration of everything, just like this. This was a bathroom that was being used during the rule, and there are so many statues, and I don't even know what the statues mean. I tried to read some of them, and they mean what happened during the particular time. So this is what, for example, this statue has been in the 14th century, and this is made in 14th century. I don't know what's the purpose of the statue, but they were making an exhibition of this place. And in the palace, the rooms were really amazing, where I have seen the ancient pottery and the statues, and even the paintings are really amazing. So look at this amazing room, which maybe I don't know who lives in this, but it was really colorful. As we walk by this room, we have this amazing view of the city Florence. So they had the whole view of the Florence. So it was really good to see. After the architectural museum is done, we are heading towards the fashion design exhibition, where they were showcasing all the dresses that were being worn by the princes or the kings from 13th century. So this was all the dresses. These were the modern dresses, but as we go by, there are so many dresses that were worn by the ancient people. So this is how they were exposing their own dresses and their style. So it was really good experience. Finally, after the museums were done, I came here to have my breakfast. So I ordered a cappuccino and the chocolate croissant. So this is how the Italians have it. So we were habituated to have when we have outside. But when we are in the hostel or somewhere, we try to cook something when we want to eat something in the morning. But for now, this is our breakfast.
So we have seen the museum and the palace, Pitti Palace. Now we are going to the Guardians Babyloni. So every palace has a garden,
Every palace has a garden in Italy, so this is one of the famous gardens in Italy. So we are going to see it. So I was walking towards the garden, and there was no particular flowers or something that they're trying to produce over here. It was just a decoration for the kings. You know how the kings were decorative. So they have this huge stretch of the garden. As you can see, it was really huge. We have to go till the top of this thing. So I was walking all the way, and then we reached the top of this garden. Look at the amazing view that they had just behind the house of the king, which is basically the palace. Look at the view. So basically, just from the back of the house, they can see the whole city. So the main garden was small, but this is the garden that I was saying about. Maybe they were not maintaining it properly, but this is the main garden. So the garden is done, but one of the greatest things of these gardens are preserving these huge landscapes for the future generations, and how the ancient palaces and all were existing. So it was a good experience. I think the palace is done. Maybe we'll move to the next place. So we are done with the palace. Next we are going to the Duomo, because in the morning it was closed. So I want to go to the Duomo and then have some lunch and then check in on our hostel. I booked a hostel yesterday itself, so we'll go there. So now it was around 12 p.m. Now I was walking towards the hostel and to have some lunch. So I've seen the street was fully crowded, because this was the Ponte Vecchio. As I've told you, these shops are converted from butcher's place to the gold shops. So as you can see, the people were trying to buy something, but in the same way, they were all expensive. But this is what they were changed. So they were changed from a butcher shop to the ornaments or whatever you want to buy. They are available here. As just I crossed the Ponte Vecchio, I've seen this. People were having a huge queue for the museum. There is one more museum which is called as Uffizi Galleria. So I went to this, but there was a huge line, so I had to wait for like half an hour or 40 minutes for the ticket. So I just went for the ticket, and it was €25. And then I've said I was a student. I just remembered that I have to say that I'm a student. So I told them that I was a student, so can I get any discount? And they gave me a huge discount, which is the ticket was €2 only. So the price was decreased from 25 to €2. So it was a whole saving for me, because I was traveling alone and I have to save money as much as possible. So now we entered the museum, and let's see what it has. So basically the museum is a two-story hallway where there were a number of statues where they're representing the history of the Florence and the Italy. So these were mostly about the kings and the historians who have wrote the cultures and who made the engineering of this particular city. And this was the famous painting, The Birth of Venus. And in the same way, they have so many amazing paintings that were drawn by the Leonardo da Vinci also. So this is how this museum is very popular in this Florence. So that's why there are so many people who are coming to visit this place. So in this room we were not allowed to go into the room, because they were preserving these statues which were original. So that's why they did not allow us. And now we are going to the Leonardo da Vinci's amazing paintings. So these were the three they were protecting here. So they were displayed to the people, and they were covered with the glass. And these were the amazing paintings that were drawn by Leonardo da Vinci. This museum is also big. It took quite of my time. So it was around 1 or 1:30 when I came out of the museum. Now I've headed towards the cathedral, which we have seen in the first starting of the video. So we are going now inside the cathedral. So let's see how it looks inside. I was actually not impressed by this architecture inside the cathedral. Because if we have seen the cathedrals and the mosques in Istanbul, they were really amazing. Even in Milan, the the top side of the dome were really amazingly painted. But this was just like this is the architecture. But I would not say the Florence outside of the cathedral was not good. But this was just the inside could be better. That's what I'm saying. But the outside look of the cathedral was really amazing. So after the cathedral, I was trying to find an Indian restaurant. So meanwhile, I have seen this amazing guy who was doing the opera on the street, and it was really amazing. He was doing it with his own voice. I was thinking that he had a microphone to his mouth or somewhere. But even after I left the place and apart from the street, like one street away, I can still hear him. So he was doing it amazing. Just follow him at opera on streets. That's what he said. So listen to him. I hope you liked it. But we came to the Indian restaurant, which is the Aroma of India. In the starting, they gave us some chutney and the papads, and I ordered some chicken curry with veg rice. It was really delicious. So you can find it in the Google. Just search Aroma of India. And now this is my dormitory that I've checked it in Florence, so which is plus Florence. So this was a dormitory where you can stay for one night and you can extend if you want. Depends on the hotel basically. And this is my bed. So I had my lunch in the Aroma of India, and it was really good. And it is 8.5 out of 10. And I've checked into my hostel, and it is around 50 euro per night because it's the festival season, so it was a little bit costly, but still it's good. And I freshed up, and now we are going to the interactive museum of Leonardo da Vinci. Close to the cathedral, we have this interactive museum of Leonardo da Vinci. So I went in there and I asked if there is a discount for the student. And usually the ticket was 9 euro, but due to the student discount in Europe, it was given for 7 euros. Whatever, the discount is a discount, so it counts. So as I have seen here, there are a number of practices or the experiments for the students or for the kids mostly. So the kids can enter for almost for free or 2 euros for a person. So it was really good experience. So there were so many experiments where students can interact and they can feel the thrill of making something that they haven't done it in their life till now. And these were the famous Leonardo da Vinci paintings, which where you can see the Mona Lisa and the other paintings that were which famous in Italy that he have made it. So they were just these were not the original one. They were secured in Paris. The Mona Lisa one was secured in Paris, and they were exposing it because Florence has some connection with this Leonardo da Vinci. So that's the reason they were making the museums with Leonardo da Vinci, and the museums also have some exposure with Leonardo da Vinci. The interactive museum of Da Vinci was fun. It was really good. For the kids, they'll enjoy a lot. But do you know where the first ice cream was made? It's in Florence. So let's go and eat some ice cream. Gelato or the ice cream is really good, but it was very expensive. It is 8 euros, which is 700 rupees in INR. But it's okay. So it's 9 in the evening, and Florence is almost done. We have seen 11 important locations in Florence. So right now I'm heading back to my room, and tomorrow we are going to Pisa. So make sure you don't miss the next video. So please subscribe, and hope to see you in the next one. Ciao, peace, Jai Hind.